The Education Channel presents District Digest, an inside look at the Collier County Public School District. First, the latest news.
Thanks for joining us. Here's what's happening.
We talk all the time about the wonderful relationships the district has with community partners.
And how important those connections really are.
The partnership with Oaks Farm is a perfect example.
With students reaping the benefits of locally grown fresh fruits and vegetables.
We actually laid this whole field out in like one day. We brought over about, I think 8 or 9 of our tractors from the big farm.
We live in the best state to do farm to school. We live in Florida. So we're in the perfect location, and we're here in Collier County where we're surrounded by farms. I mean, today we just visited some amazing properties. So that allows us to offer fresh, seasonal, locally grown Florida produce to our students.
This is acorn squash. The acorn squash is really tasty. Every time I eat one, I'm like, why don't I eat this more often? Because you just put it in the oven and bake it. You know, if you like sweet, a little brown sugar and butter, you know, everything's good with brown sugar and butter. The idea is to bring all of our locally grown product, or at least as much of it as possible during the season, to, you know, into the Collier County school system. These are strawberries. Like I say, we just plug these in. We're just picked the first little handful of berries out there yesterday. We're also involved with their farm to table program, where we have kind of specials that we put into them once in a while for the kids to try. These are moringa trees. That's the leaf that's really high in protein. You can taste some of the leaf. It has a little bit of a spicy taste to it.
If we can get it locally grown and it's fresh, it's going to taste better, the students are going to like it better, and we can get a better price. So it's a win-win for everybody.
There's some little indoor peppers here and some of the seedlings.
I think one of the most exciting things I saw today is what Alfie Oaks is putting together, that 12 acres of aquaculture to the sustainability, the huge variety that he's already got and what he's looking to put in there, which I think introducing children at a young age to something like that is just amazing.
Now coming up on this edition of District Digest, we'll learn about Literacy Week in Florida and what's planned here in Collier County Public Schools.
Then we'll get details about Super Science Saturday, the who, what, where, when, and why.
We'll meet with one of our middle school teachers, recently named State Teacher of the Year for Family and Consumer Sciences.
And finally, we'll learn about the special partnership between the Immokalee Technical Center and a local agency to help teach English.
That's all straight ahead on this edition of District Digest. Plus,
this is Tracy Collier. Join me for a special feature here on District Digest. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll tell you what's cool in school.
Please stay with us here on the Education Channel, your window to education.
On the air on Comcast Cable 99 and online at collierschools.com.
Attention Collier County Public School parents. Have you ever wondered if your child's school bus is running late on any given afternoon? Well, we've got good news. You can now find out if your child's bus is late on the trip home by going online. Check the homepage of the school district website at collierschools.com. When a school bus is delayed by more than a half hour, a late bus notice link appears on the right side of the home page. Click on it to find out.
Do you have time on your hands and just love being with kids? We may have the perfect employment opportunity for you as a Collier County Public Schools guest teacher. The welcome guests in our classrooms who were formerly known as substitute teachers. Benefits of guest teaching include the flexibility of working full-time or part-time and on your own schedule.
I've always been a stay-at-home mom. I still feel like that stay-at-home mom because of the flexibility of the hours, the non-planning that I have to do. It's ready for me when I come in each day.
The biggest benefit of all, being able to help students.
It's a passion that I have, and started it 15 years ago, and I'm still going strong because of the kids.
Want to feel the passion yourself? You must have a minimum of an associate's degree and be at least 21 years of age. Guest teaching is a perfect fit for a college student pursuing a teaching career and for a retiree, especially a retired teacher wanting to return to the classroom. But anyone is welcome to apply. Do so today at collierschools.com.
District Digest continues with a special feature.
Our first guest today is Diane Ferramo. She is the coordinator for Reading and Language Arts K through 5. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's great to be here.
You're here to talk about Celebrate Literacy Week. What is it?
What is it? This is a celebration we participate in every year. We have been for several years. It's an event where we encourage our students. Well, first we celebrate success of our students' literacy skills, and then we also encourage them to read more by engaging them in a whole bunch of fun activities.
Wonderful. So what special events do you have planned for this week?
Well, one of the big things that every one of our elementary schools participates in is the Million-Minute Marathon. And what we do is during Celebrate Literacy Week, we have one day where all of our elementary schools provide extra time for students to read beyond their reading block. And they calculate all those minutes and send them to me. I send them up to the state. And so this is really a statewide event. So last year, the students in the state of Florida read 33 million minutes on a given day, so extra ones in addition to their schoolwork. So this year, we have set our own goal in Collier County, and we're going to shoot for 1 million minutes, and we're using, calculating all the minutes that our elementary students read during that one day during Celebrate Literacy Week. So that's going to be extra fun. Also, we have several schools planning family literacy events during the week. They're starting to come in now, and we're going to be posting them on our district family literacy website. But during those events, we engage parents and children in fun literacy activities that are all connected to the new Florida standards. But they are not really thinking about standards because these are just fun activities. And it helps our parents understand how many different types of activities they can engage in with their students without saying it's reading time, but yet the kids are really learning and enriching their literacy skills. So we have some events planned at several schools. It's going to be fun. There'll be parent toolkits for parents to take home that will include family literacy activities they can do at home with their kids too. So that's another great event.
That's wonderful. So how does this support student achievement?
Well, we know that if our students are going to shoot for the moon, and achieve success, they have to have the literacy skills that 21st century careers demand. So everyone participating, and we do encourage community members, volunteers, business partners to connect with their schools and participate in these activities too, because a lot of times too, schools will have guest readers come in during that week, so that's a good way for community to participate. So that's why we ask everybody to join in and promote the literacy skills of our students.
Sounds great. Now, how do I learn about these resources and events for Celebrate Literacy Week?
Well, we have a new family literacy website that parents can go to. If they just go to our district website and go to the parent tab, they'll see that there is an icon that says Literacy, a Family Affair, and they can click on that and see all of the resources that are provided for parents, and they're there all the time, really. They can go in and look at those at any time, and we're adding to that all the time. But also, we will be listing down at the bottom. If they scroll down to the bottom, they'll see literacy events and Celebrate Literacy. There'll be an icon there, and they'll be able to click on that and look at all of the different schools that have events going on that they can participate in.
Wonderful. So what are you most excited about for this week?
Well, during the Celebrate Literacy Week, I'm really excited to see the extent of participation. Seeing all of our elementary schools engaged in some kind of extra literacy activity that really brings attention to the importance of literacy, not just during a reading block, but across the curriculum and in their everyday lives.
Well, we are really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen during this week. I thank you very much, Diane, for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
You're watching District Digest on the Education Channel.
Well, our next guest on District Digest is Kurt Widoff, the coordinator of K-12 Science and Environmental Education for the school district. Kurt, always good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, obviously, we're going to talk about science, all things science, and we've got the Collier Regional Science and Engineering Fair that's coming up.
We do. It's right around the corner. All the schools are getting ready. They work all fall on their science fair projects. The schools are doing their science fairs at the school level right now, and our Collier Regional Science and Engineering Fair is kind of the culmination of that. We'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 100 to 125 middle and high school science fair projects over at the North Collier Regional Park, and that's going to be on Friday, January 30th is when they're going through all the judging.
Perfect. And then that leads us to our next event, Super Science Saturday.
Yeah, so after Friday they go through all the judging, and it's a big day for the kids because obviously they're meeting with a lot of professional judges, a lot of scientists from around Collier County, and then Saturday we open up the North Collier Regional Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a free event for everybody, so hopefully that Saturday we'll have a lot of folks coming out to see us. And it's just a great time for folks in the community to come out, see the student level research. They can view the 120 or so projects, and they'll also get a chance to visit with a number of the exhibitors who are coming to be with us on that day.
What are some of those that we can look forward to seeing?
Well, we're working on them right now, but we get a lot of great ones every year. And so in the past, and I hope to have a lot of repeat customers this year, but we get the Everglades Astronomical Society. They bring out a lot of their big telescopes and solar telescopes. We have groups like the Conservancy, Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary, Rookery Bay. We had actually last year we had two of our local high school academies come out as well, and they were big hits. Naples High School came over with their engineering academy, and Lely High School came over with their aviation academy, and so they had flight simulators set up and the quadcopters, the drones. So they were flying the drone all over the big exhibit hall, and that was a really big hit. So yeah, we get some great exhibitors. It's really a wonderful opportunity for the public to come out and not only see the kids and see their research, but also get a chance to interact with a lot of the local science organizations and many of those groups we partner with, either through field trip opportunities or different partnerships. So it kind of showcases all of the great science and engineering that's going on here in Collier.
Well, and we were talking before the interview, Super Science Saturday has grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, we've been doing this for nearly 20 years. And I remember way back when I started in the district, it was held at a school, and it was kind of small, but it continues to evolve and to grow every year and bring more and more people into it.
Yeah, it really does. We get hundreds of people now. I think our highest number was 500 people one year. And the big culmination of that day is really our award ceremony. So at the end of Super Science Saturday, right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, obviously a lot of parents and grandparents are coming in to hear what awards the students got. And obviously the big awards are our 13 state Science and Engineering Fair finalists. And so we recognize a whole bunch of kids that day. But the really big awards, obviously, are the state science fair awards, and that's our team of 13 kids, and we'll be taking those students in the spring up to Lakeland, Florida, to compete at the Florida State Science and Engineering Fair. That's a multi-day event, so we go up, we have a setup day and judging, and but our kids get to compete against about 1,000 other students from throughout Florida. But the state science fair is the largest academic competition in the state. So if you can make it, even if you just make it to the state science fair, it's just an unbelievable accomplishment.
It is.
We had somebody tell us one time it's 2 times harder to make it to the state science fair than an athletic state championship. So that gives you a sense of how difficult it is to make it. So we really hope folks come out on the 31st, January 31st, Saturday, at North Collier Regional Park.
I know I want to be there because it really is. It's great to see all the work of the students and to see the community really pull together. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
District Digest continues as we open your window to education, taking you inside the classroom so you can see what's cool in school. With BYOD, STEM, and today's cool school technology, here's Dr. Tracy Collier.
So, how will we meet the needs of society in the future? Where will the technologists, engineers, and innovators of the next generation come from? It is especially important that girls and other underrepresented populations are encouraged to fully participate in STEM-related experiences. Perhaps the future employees will come from Colusa Park Elementary. Colusa Park inspires their youngest elementary learners, those in kindergarten through 2nd grade, with specialized science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM activities in their K-2 STEM lab. And the teachers and students are having a blast learning about the concept of force using racing ramps and racing simulations on iPads. Principal Linda Walcott explains Colusa Park's vision.
At the beginning of the year, we had a vision to incorporate more hands-on STEM activities for our students. So we added a STEM resource position, and we've worked on creating a STEM lab for the entire school. And as we've been in that process, our kindergarten teachers thought it would be a great idea if we had a smaller version of a STEM lab available for our kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade students that had more floor space, lower exploration tables, lower computer tables, so that they could really have some meaningful and engaging STEM activities to take place.
Using a centers-based approach, students rotate through various STEM activities, all designed with different learning needs in mind. STEM coach John Luciano supports these fantastic Friday opportunities.
Well, it gives the students an opportunity from all walks of life, no matter cultural backgrounds or learning abilities, or how they come into kindergarten, whether they're reading or not reading, whether they even know letter sounds, or if they have language issues. We can still have that differentiation for them because it's a hands-on, universal design for learning in this classroom, and it gives them accessibility with, as you can see throughout the room, where they're touching things, manipulating things, learning things on discovery education, and being able to manipulate what's going on in there. It's also available to them in Spanish and English and in a variety of different levels where we can make it available to them and accessible to all the students in the kindergarten classroom.
And now you know what's cool in school.
District Digest continues with a special feature.
Our next guest is Sandy Brock, Family and Consumer Sciences teacher at Pine Ridge Middle School. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about a great award that you just got, State Teacher of the Year for Family Consumer Sciences, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Wonderful. So how did this recognition come about?
Well, actually, it started with a nomination, and then you go through a process. You fill out an application, kind of like do your bio, your resume, and they try to put a focus on different programs that you've created, things that you've done that show innovation and creativity, and then it's sent to a board, and then they make a decision and choose one teacher to represent the state of Florida and to then go on to nationals.
So now that you're representing the state of Florida, what happens next?
Well, I'm actually right now in the process of putting together a portfolio. It's quite extensive, and really compiling all of my different educational works that I've done. Really what they're looking for, this panel is looking to see how you have created different projects and really put a focus in your community, within your school, on the curriculum of Family Consumer Sciences. So there's a lot to it, but then they will take this material, it goes to national, and there's a board that's comprised of professors, different educators. They look at all the material, they make a decision, and we find out in late spring. And at that point, I will be going to the national conference, which this year for the American Association of Family Consumer Sciences, it will be held in Jacksonville, Florida. So I will be there to represent the state of Florida, to represent Collier County and Pine Ridge Middle School.
So how long have you been teaching Family Consumer Sciences?
I've been teaching for this is my 30th year. I started out teaching my first 7 years of high school. First 4 years were at Fort Myers High, and then I transferred into Collier County, and I taught at Lely High School for 3 years, and then I went to middle school. And so I've been at Pine Ridge Middle School now for 23 years.
Fabulous. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So does it still excite you to work into the classroom?
Absolutely. I love it. I still love it very much. One of the things I love is that the curriculum is forever changing. It needs to stay abreast of what's happening in your society. I love the fact that I have an opportunity to still be very creative with my programs, teaching life skills with hands-on experiences. So it's all good stuff. And one of the things that kind of stands out in my mind is the student-run branch of the credit union. And we started this program 3 years ago at Pine Ridge. We were the first and the only middle school to offer this in Collier County. So that's kind of an exciting piece. And another project that I worked on was the Holocaust Cookbook project. And that was an interdisciplinary unit that we did we had social studies, we had language arts, the art department, music, and of course family consumer sciences. So it's an opportunity, and that's one of the things I love about my curriculum is I can add things in and get very creative with it to give the kids an even broader experience. And of course I love the kids, so that too is a very big part of it, and I love both the past and the present students. It's so rewarding when you run into students, past, former students, and they'll tell you how they've used things they've learned in your class and in their life today. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
That's great. So what's the most challenging thing you would find in the classroom?
The most challenging? Well, gosh, I don't know on that one. Sometimes it's hard because I feel like I have to continue to keep family consumer science right out there. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of the last Mohicans, so to speak, because you have to be on top of it. And if you're doing the same thing, we're not stitching and stirring at Pine Ridge. If you're doing the same thing that you were doing 30 years ago or 20 years ago, it's not working.
Got to keep it new and fresh and keep up with the technology, right?
You bet.
Well, I
Absolutely.
thank you very much for coming today, Sandy, and talking to us about your award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
District Digest presents a community update.
And our final guest today is Trisha Yegi, Program Director with Guadalupe Social Services. Thank you for joining us, Trish. Now, Guadalupe Social Services is doing some amazing things in Immokalee, and today we're here to talk about a partnership between you and ITech, which happened this year, the Guadalupe English School. Can you share a little bit about the history of the Guadalupe English School?
Well, first, Guadalupe Social Services has been providing basic needs to the community of Immokalee for the last 35 years. Almost 20 years ago, folks in the community, folks in Guadalupe Social Services decided we really wanted to make some long-term change and impact. And so we formed Guadalupe English School, which was formerly known as School on Wheels, where our volunteers would go into the homes of mothers and provide English language instruction. This year, we've formed a partnership with ITech that has been incredible and provided us with a lot of tools that bring all of that program onto our campus in a classroom setting.
Awesome. And now, what is the goal of the program?
What we'd like to see for the moms that participated in the program is really empowerment. The power that they have through learning English enables them to be able to speak to their children's teachers, to be able to speak to their doctors, to be able to navigate the community that they're living in. It also restores power structure in the family, where their children no longer have to be translators in those sorts of interactions.
Yeah, and it's so important for a parent to be a part of their child's education. So what you guys are doing is great. Now, how has the partnership with ITech really enhanced the services that you offer?
Through multiple facets. We've been able to, we've received new textbooks, workbooks, we've received all sorts of technology from iTech, but most importantly, I think, we have had the benefit of an ongoing relationship with a mentor teacher from iTech, an ELL teacher that has mentored our volunteer teacher and then is continuing to provide classroom support or advice along the way to make the class the best that they can be.
Okay, so we have a teacher that's kind of helping your teacher out in the classroom, so that's great.
We're so pleased to have Katie to do that for us.
Awesome. Now, what is the demographic of your students?
Most of the mothers are migrant mothers that come to us from Mexico, Guatemala. We have a couple of Haitian students. They are moms. Typically, the moms can bring their children with them that are non-school age children, which is really kind of exciting. So while we don't count the children in the classroom, we have 15 moms right now, and then 6 children that are in the classroom too, learning English side by side with their moms.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, where are your students today? Like, where are they in the process? Have you, have any of them started speaking English now?
Absolutely. First, they're all assessed, and this is one of the things that iTech provides us, they're all assessed right at the beginning through the CASAS testing to test their English proficiency level, which gives us a great idea. We didn't have that before. Gives us a great idea of where to start from and where we want to head to. And then secondly, as we look to successes of the program, I was speaking to Aurelia, one of our moms, the other day, and it brings tears to my eyes to think about the story that she shared to me, as you could see the pride in her face that her daughter was working on plurals in her own classroom, and Aurelia was remembering 2 weeks before in her classroom she had been learning about plurals, and she was able to help her daughter with her homework. For, I think, all of us in Collier County, we know how important that is to be able to have that kind of relationship with your children, that you can be there to support them through their education.
That's wonderful to see that advancement going on.
And the other thing that it does is that it is, as the moms are learning, it really teaches our children the importance of being lifelong learners.
Definitely, definitely. Now, if somebody is interested in receiving services, being part of Guadalupe English School, what would they do?
They would simply call into our office at 239-657-6242. They're going to talk to Peggy, and we're going to set them up in the registration process, and of course, with our support from iTech, get them tested and get them into the classroom.
And what are your future plans with the school? Are you doing anything in the summer?
What we're looking forward to this summer is putting together a program, of course, that's going to be Monday through Friday from 12:30 to 2:30. Many of our moms during the school year miss out on every day as they look for work, and so a full-time summer program will allow them to be in class every day.
Well, that's great. It's wonderful things you got going on there. I appreciate you being here today, Trish.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And we thank all of our guests, and we thank you for watching. For Leanne Zinzer, Katie Tanner, and all of us here at the Education Channel, I'm Jennifer Weimer. We'll see you next time.
Join us again for District Digest, your inside look at the Collier County Public School District. The show is produced by the District Communications and Community Engagement Department and the Education Channel, your window to education.